Prosecutors in Los Angeles formally filed charges against Hornets forward Miles Bridges on Tuesday. Bridges is facing a felony domestic violence charge and 2 felony child abuse charges stemming from an incident in late June.
First at 6, we are following that breaking news out of Mecklenburg County courts. Prosecutors are dropping their 3 criminal charges against Hornets forward Miles Bridges, citing a lack of evidence.
What's goody, Captain Paul? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, things are looking up there for Miles Bridges, right?
I guess, but there's a little bit of debate going on, obviously. So for those who are living under the rock, Miles Bridges has a history of being accused of, getting physical with women in a domestic setting. And back in 2022, he pleaded no contest to an accusation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those that don't really understand the legal system, they know guilty, they know not guilty, they don't know no contest.
Mm-hmm.
No contest basically means I'm afraid of going to prison, and so I will take a lesser punishment while not actually saying that I did what is alleged that I did.
Right.
So he actually avoided a prison sentence altogether. And that kind of makes me a little bit suspicious, Cap, because if they had the evidence to have him found guilty by a jury of his peers, then they would have gone with that and they would have gotten that pretty quickly. But they just wanted the conviction. They wanted their conviction rate to continue to go up. And no contest pleas do count as convictions for the prosecutors. So I just want to make sure that people understand that to be clear. He got the 3 years probation for that. Now, in this case, facing some tremendous prison time here as well. But Cap, it seems that the prosecutor said, you know what, we can't take this to trial.
Yeah, it seems like they can't take it to trial. All charges were dropped, and Malika Andrews is punching the air, angry that a black man has no charges against him. It's kind of wild. They had to do a live cut. She's like, God damn it! Like, she was mad. She was mad. And, like, you know what? I understand your pain, Malika. I mean, I don't agree with you, but, I mean, do you? That's your whole kink. But when it kind of comes down to it, it does make you wonder, just because I've dealt with court cases, not in particular with this type of stuff, so I'm not as knowledgeable, right, with this. I'll just be completely honest with you. I am surprised that he like you probably said before we went on air, he took the he said no contest because he wanted to avoid a bigger sentence or to avoid jail altogether. But if the evidence is so twisted, got bent around, and nobody knows how the car got damaged at one point or whatever, if he went to trial, I think he would have avoided this headache altogether, being put on probation and all this stuff. I mean,
no, that's a different case, Cap.
Oh, it's a different case. Okay, so see,
yeah, So in that case, a different woman is claiming that he assaulted her in front of the children.
Oh, I thought it was the same woman.
All right.
Yeah.
Now this is a different case, which actually could have really destroyed Bridges' life, because he already has, the probation thing. He's still under probation and all the anti-DV type of stuff that he was given to make sure that he would avoid the jail time, right? Now, this woman here, and it's really funny, man. I got to get into this whole difference between the liberal media and the not as liberal media. When I had this come across my feed on the ESPN app, ESPN didn't say anything about the details. They just put up this headline that says Hornets Miles Bridges gets 3 criminal counts dismissed, and then says that the Superior Court dismissed 3 criminal counts against him on Tuesday due to insufficient evidence to warrant prosecution. The court filing states that due to conflicting statements stemming from an October incident that resulted in damage to a vehicle, given the lack of sufficient evidence to overcome the inconsistency of these accounts, the state would not be successful at trial. Now, ESPN doesn't want to go into any real detail, but in the same article, they had no problem going into detail about the previous allegations from a different woman going back to 2022. But now I go to Fox Sports and I actually get a little bit more clear information here. Superior Court documents say that when police officers responded to a call, they found a woman and her children in a vehicle with a damaged windshield. She initially told police another woman at the house caused the damage, but then told them a few days later it was Bridges who inflicted the damage. Later, the woman told prosecutors she was unsure how her car was damaged.
Yeah. So just all over the place, not staying consistent, and thus you have to throw pretty much all those claims out the window. Like, you have to stay consistent with your story.
Can we be real? Let's be real about this. This is not about a story being consistent or inconsistent. We've had people tell stories where a little detail here or there, maybe they misremembered, right? We're talking about the actual crux of the case where she is lobbying something, an accusation against a person that can ruin his life for good. And she said 3 distinctly different things, which, when you add them all up, equals to lies. Let's call them what they are, Cap.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yeah. I mean, I think when it kind of comes down to it, the coverage, if we're going to go more into that continual conversation about liberal versus conservative media outlets, now they all have their holes, but one of the negative aspects I have about anything kind of liberal slanted is with these particular cases, have to check my verbiage very carefully here so we don't get a yellow dollar sign. With these particular cases, they will omit some evidence and make the victim seem less terrible, right? Instead of the perpetrator of this of this scenario. And it's annoying. I think both sides do this where they the current slant they want to go for, they'll kind of like, even if they're wrong, like, yeah, but they'll have those, like, they'll reap those they'll reap some or just put doubt into the reader's mind, right? It's just give me the evidence, give me all the story, give me all the information that you have, and let me as the reader digest and think for myself. And I do think it is just a bad look. On the ESPN article, they omit very important information like that, right? But they'll bring up a case that's not anything. They actually confused me to the point where I'm like, wait, is this the same case? Bringing up a case from prior to make it look like Miles Bridges is a terrible human being. Now, I don't know him personally. I mean, for all I know, he could be going out in the street punching babies like crazy. I don't know the mother. But whatever happened in the past. But this particular case, I mean, clearly, if the story's changing that much, there really wasn't much substance there to convict him. And now this guy lost, what, millions of dollars, right? Is that safe to say? And even though the charges have been dropped, he's always gonna have this around him. There's always gonna be this, like, oh wow, he got off, but remember when he got charged for this? Like, he's always gonna have this case looming over him. Like, Malika Andrews will constantly cover him. Oh, but remember those one time in this case? Because she's done that with a lot of the NBA players.
Any shot that he misses. If he misses a free throw, she'll be bringing this
up. Like Miles Bridges, like, having a rough night from 3. He bricks it. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? You know what also bricked is when he allegedly bricked that woman in the head. You know, it's just one of those situations that with our current culture, it doesn't matter if you're innocent anymore. No, it's just whatever the alleged accusations are now just the truth.
Well, I gotta add this to it as well, because there is a part here that whether or not he did what was alleged, I still have to call out Mr. Bridges. And because why would we put this video up if there is not a lesson for men? The lesson here, gentlemen, is when you are doing well in life and you're earning a lot of money, you're not going to be chased by women with good intentions. They're not going to chase you. Sorry.
No.
The good women are still probably going to wait for some good man to come into their life. They're not going to be, running after you, trying to get into your face, trying to get into your dressing room, trying to get access to the locker room. They're not going to be the ones pouring into your DMs. You have to make better choices when you're dealing with these women, because in addition to you being a better choice for women, you have to understand that not every woman has your best interest at heart.
No.
And especially the ones that are a little bit more forward, a little more aggressive. They're not there to marry you because they think that you're this great guy. They are really in your face, the groupie type. They're in your face because they did a Google search and found out what your net worth is.
I mean, we've had more and more cases the last couple of years of athletes being targeted and false claims being put against them. You have to carry yourself in a very safe manner if you're a man. I mean, even if you're not a pro athlete, let's just say you have a very ambitious, let's say you're very ambitious, you're very goal driven, right? You're career driven, I should say, and you're very successful in your own field. There's going to be people it's like when sharks smell blood in the water, right? They're just going to be trying to latch to you, eat you up, and spit you out. That's pretty much That's all that's going to happen there. And you need to be careful with who you interact with. You have to make sure you have to vet your partners properly, because if you don't, you could be ended up like Miles Bridges.
Yep, and there's a lot of these young guys in the NBA getting finessed pretty hard as well. And it's not like these are women that are just shining examples of what ladylike behavior is. They're the same chicks that are on Narcigram showing their bodies, getting fake body parts. They got fake eyelashes that poke you in the eye. Right? They got 14 pounds of makeup on. I mean, the thing is, they have their thought uniform on.
Yeah, for me,
and you guys are still getting caught out here, Miles, man. In some way, I don't want you to be falsely accused of anything, but you're putting yourself in these positions.
I don't really care what women do in that regard. You want to go do a million different procedures, but realize, generally, that comes with a lot of stuff with it, right? If a particular type of woman, right?
Yeah.
Not to stereotype, but there are stereotypes for a reason. So you need to find yourself a woman that's going to be loyal and bring out the best in you, not drag you down and just put your name in the mud, right? Drag it through the mud.
Yep. And so guys, we gotta make better decisions with women, and we have to make better decisions as well when we have conflicts with women. And sometimes, and I'm not talking about not doing something bad to them. I'm talking about making sure that when you end a situation with a woman or you end a conflict with a woman, you're gonna have to coddle her ego a bit so that there's no temptation, or there's a lesser temptation for her to go and try to ruin your life. Because in a lot of these cases, whether you did it or not, it doesn't matter because they believe you did.
Yeah.
So
100%. Men, make sure to take care of yourself. We'd actually kind of like your thoughts down below in the comments section. Do you think Miles Bridges did nothing wrong, or are you like Malika Andrews punching walls in anger? Let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We here at TSP are, what are we here, Dr. Evil Gene?
We are a black-owned and trans-black-owned business.
You actually said it! You're stupid! You idiot! You actually said that shit! I thought you were gonna do the normal outro.
So make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. We're out. Peace.
Oh, you stupid! Oh my god!